Yeah, so my full name is Bernd Erik Bjontegard, Erik Bjontegard in English. I am the founder, CEO of Total Communicator Solutions Inc., and the inventor of the Spark Compass platform, which is the product of Total Communicator Solutions Inc. I'm here in San Diego, California. The Spark Compass platform is a patented and proven, tested, developed, deployed, and endorsed platform that is a data-driven platform, right? This is something that takes data, aggregates data, and acts on the data real time. And so our priorities are to team up with subject matter experts, people that knows the industry that they're in. We don't necessarily know anything about how to be a dentist. We don't necessarily know anything about how to run a sports team or a stadium. But when we team up with them to understand their business processes and what their ROIs are, then we can deploy and adapt the Spark Compass platform to deliver that. That's under the mantra of total communication. While we are Total Communicators platform solution, that's why the mother company is Total Communicator Solutions Inc. The product is the Spark Compass platform, the Spark Compass communication platform. And of course, we partner with others, and that will be white labeled and rebranded, and as well. It really truly is an ecosystem for communication. When I started in 2012, after having left Qualcomm, it was a general consensus that with sports teams owners, and one in particular, and said, I do not want my fans to be sitting there watching their phone. I want them to be engaged with the team and the action that's done on the field. And I had a long discussion with this gentleman in particular, and he come to understand that times are changing, and in particular the younger generation, even then, were engaged with their phones, and this led to our first activation of augmented reality for a basketball team, the Dallas Mavericks, and you can guess who I was talking with. I was at Qualcomm at this time, but we launched augmented reality activations with him and for him while I was there. But that mindset in the old days where, we want people to focus on what's going on the field. But now the journey that we take them on, take the fans on, is that we want to inform and engage them as much as possible. And this multitasking, multi-screen experiences that at least the younger generation now is used to. I watch my kids, I have 4, and they might be watching TV, but they have their laptop and their phone on their lap. So we're multitasking all the time, multi-screening, that's kind of cool. So they're multi-screening like crazy, and that's also translates into the sporting events. So in the old days, when we first started, Wi-Fi was very hard, or cell coverage was very hard in the stadium. Now that's a prime component and a bragging right for a stadium to have 5G or private 5G, or maybe even looking at how to integrate into the future of 6G. That's becoming what we have to have. And so then goes back to your comment about how can we engage and how can we inform the fans better. And that's exactly what our platform enables, is this enablement of enhancing the moments of time for those that are in the stands. One of the things that we're launching now, with hopefully some very big events shortly, is what we call memorable moments, right? Now imagine if you had an ability to be rewarded for being at the stadium, and your presence is rewarded not just by points, but we can airdrop an NFT to you that commemorizes this moment of time where only those in the stadium were given this digital pin, this digital Olympic pin, this memorable that you can take with you as you go forward. So this memorable moments, memorabilia, that's hard for me to say as a Norwegian, is another element of enhancing that moments. And of course we can gamify, and we can do AR overlays and all sorts of activations. But the key is, as long as it doesn't take away from what's happening on the field, and it engages with the customers, the fans, And if we can take this one step further and activate and engage those that are in the stands with those that are watching at home, all of a sudden you extend the four walls of the cricket ground or the football ground or the stands into a global audience. And that's truly where we can bring that, the fan at home to the stadium and the stadium to the fans at home. Of course, there's broadcast, but we can do a lot more than that and enhance those experiences for those that are in the stadium and those that are at home. The pandemic, unfortunately, has obviously been horrible, but it has created a moment where a lot of companies and a lot of people are taking pause to see how can we improve things, what can we do differently. And when you talk about communication and you're sitting in a situation where you have a top-rated football team that has this empty stadium, all of a sudden, what we had said in the past that, oh, you don't care that you have 43,000 seats and filled every time you play at home, we can enable you to have a communication with the 440 million people around the world that are your fans. Those are the ones that we can enable to have a relationship with you. Now, all of a sudden, that becomes more and more relevant because we are that connector, we are that enabler of that communication with the fans anywhere in the world, where we can have that personalized relationship with the fans sitting at home, watching what's happening in Liverpool or Manchester or in London, and feel that they're part of it. I'm from Norway, right? And when I grew up, I was a sailor. I was Norwegian champion at age 15, in a dinghy racing. And I was one of the first, if not the first, windsurfing instructor in Norway. So I have a passion for sailing. So, of course, America's Cup, the biggest and oldest, actually, sporting event in the world, when we had an opportunity to work with them and activate not only the venues they had constructed for the races in Bermuda, they had constructed a new island, literally created a new island, and that's where the race village was. So each compound, each of the team compounds was on this, stadiums and viewing arenas. And they had a really nice finish line close by shore, so you can literally see the races from the shoreline. And when the opportunity came for us to help activate not only the race village and the compounds, the team compounds within the race village, but also extend into the other elements of Bermuda, hotels, golf courses, of course, airports, where we could truly enhance the journey for those that came to visit, to see the races. Of course, we said, yes, that's absolutely. And I was lucky enough to be out there and watch the Kiwis win at the time. But the next element, the ability to extend that journey, that ability to feel the races and follow the races, of course, is a global audience. So we extended that on-venue experience. We activated the compounds, but also took that journey to the fans at home, and we had millions and millions of users around the world that followed the races and had those personalized experiences that our platform enables. Very, very powerful when you do that. And talking about passionate sailing, we extended that into the Extreme Sailing Series, where in Cabo San Lucas, I think we were the first to have a user-generated or user-selected point of view, which camera you wanted to follow and watch in an OTT live streaming platform. It's a couple of years back. But really powerful when you can select which boat you want to be on. Literally, you can select which boat you were seeing the camera feed from, and then see how that would that boat was in position to other boats. Very powerful way of capturing data, aggregating data, and present data useful for the end users, which is what we do at Spark Compass. Yeah, so IBM is now a full-fledged partner with us. We are IBM Watson partners, which is very powerful. So we can go. We obviously are proud to say that it's Spark Compass with IBM Watson. A lot of integrations and a lot of great meetings and great solutions that we're going to build with them. But in this instance, a couple of years back, we we were asked to assist in activating the All England Lawn and Tennis Club. I think that's the official name of the Wimbledon organizers. And the premise there was as follows: there were at that time long queues to get in. There were, of course, the grounds have a lot of history, and so we engaged the people in the line. We activated all of the historical sites rather, where there are historical plaques, and each of that historical plaque, if you held your phone, the IBM Wimbledon app, if you held your app up against that plaque, it would come alive with a video that was superimposed on the plaque that was a reference to what had happened before, the longest match, etc. And then we also animated and activated the grandstand in a 3D model that came alive, superimposed on the directory. And then we also activated a series of partner booths on the pop-up tents where sponsors had their information booths. So again, this is what we do at Spark Compass, right? We look at the end user journey. How can we enhance that? How can we enhance somebody that's standing in queue? How can we enhance information about somebody that is at a specific location? How can we verify that we can enhance that moment of time for them? And how can we also enhance the moments of time for sponsors and partners that are spending time and effort and money to be associated with an event and really would like to further their messages to the fans that are there. And that's the ROI that we provide. ROI, actually, a little side note on that. I know this is off script, but this is kind of interesting because when we talk about ROI, most people think about return of investment. What we call our ROI is results of implementation. And that's really what Spark Compass does. It is an implementation that activates and delivers results. So we built an ecosystem where the ROI, the results of implementation, was to get more fans to the stands. And lo and behold, we have increased attendance by over 21% with this loyalty, reward, and relationship platform that we built for them, and had some great time with them. Really good people there. Some of them have left, and some of them are still there. But the true visionaries that are now moved on, we're working with again. So very exciting of fan activation, fan engagement, fan relationships. And you know, when you talk about being big, a football arena with 77,000 seats, there's not many stadiums in EPL that has that many seats, right? But that's next to a basketball arena with 20,000 seats, next to a baseball field with about 10, and then a soccer arena with about 5. So we activated all of those. And of course, when you have that and you communicate with not only the student population, but also additional fans, you can engage a lot. And one of the things that we did there that's very relevant in today's environment, and this is back in 4 or 5 years ago, we integrated the IoT system, and we have hundreds and hundreds of sensors across the campus with our blockchain, right? So we drove behavior, we verified behavior, we recorded behavior, and this is event-based ecosystem. We stored that real time on our blockchain. So now all of a sudden we have over 140 million real-world behavior data points stored on our blockchain. Right? So this is a blockchain that is utilized to verify, prove, and authenticate behavior, not digitally, but in the physical world. And that's really where this becomes exciting, where we can connect the physical with the digital. And of course, once we have the digital and we build our metaverse, which we're building right now, we can take the physical, we can replicate the physical with the digital twin and create an interactive metaverse where interactions between fans and those that are there can also parlay back into the physical world. And this is the passion that we have, where we're looking at things that haven't been done before, not as challenges, but as opportunities. How can we improve something? And we always look at it this way. What can we do to change and improve an outcome, right? And would I do this myself? So if you look at that as the end result, how can I improve something? And would this provide value to me as an end user, or my family, or my children, or my parents? Then all of a sudden we're looking at how can we achieve it? And we have the mindset that if it hasn't been done before, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. It's just that nobody had thought about it before. So we are challenged and passionate about coming up with new ways. We're thrived by it, and we personally are geek out all the time about doing new stuff that hasn't been done before. Patent writing is an art form, as you know, and that's something that I learned at Qualcomm. But the understanding of how to take an invention, articulate it, building a framework, building a blueprint, and then building it, that's another layer of innovation, because innovation by itself is fun and exciting, but actually building it and seeing it working, that's the ultimate. And that's really what we've done with Spark Compass.